Hi everyone, my name is Hejny, and this is my adaptation of Goldilocks and the Three Bears. Have you ever wanted something so badly that you were tempted to take it without permission? I think we've all been in that predicament at some point in our lives. And that very thing happened to a little girl named Goldie. Once upon a time, there was a little girl named Goldie who lived with her mom in a cozy cottage in a beautiful forest where they coexisted peacefully with all the other animals until one day Goldie was out on a walk and she started to feel hungry and thirsty. And as luck would have it, there was a beautiful little house in a clearing right up ahead. Goldie approached the door, and as she knocked on it, the door slowly creaked open. "Hello? Is anybody home? Could I trouble you for a glass of water or maybe a piece of fruit?" Nobody answered. Instead of going back home, Goldie decided to go into the house, and she trailed mud behind her because she didn't even wipe her feet. She immediately caught the aroma of piping hot stew, so she followed her nose into the kitchen where she found 3 huge steaming bowls of stew just ready to be eaten. She thought, I'll just try a little bite out of the biggest bowl. Nobody will notice that, right? Okay, so she immediately took a bite, and it was so hot that she threw the spoon and made a big mess of the stew. She tried a bite from the second bowl, and it was too hot, but she did love the spoon, so she put it in her pocket. She then tried a bite from the third bowl, which was just right, and she gobbled it all up without a backward glance. Well, after eating that big bowl of stew and hiking around the forest all morning, Goldie felt tired. Surely the people in this house are super nice and won't mind somebody using their space for hospitality, right? She decided to take a cat nap. She noticed there were beds upstairs, so she walked up the stairs, trailing mud behind her as ever. And at the top of the stairs, she saw 3 beautiful beds waiting to be laid in. The first bed was so uncomfortable, it felt like she was laying on a bunch of corn cobs. So she climbed out of that one and into the second one, which was so soft that she sank into it and couldn't breathe. So she climbed out of that one and into the third bed. And oh, that third bed was just right. She was snoring up a storm and drooling on the pillow within minutes. Meanwhile, the 3 inhabitants of this lovely little house, who happened to be bears, were making their way home from a berry-picking walk. Of course, they immediately noticed that the door was ajar and there were muddy footprints all over the house, so they followed the trail of footprints into the kitchen. Of course, they noticed that somebody had been eating their stew. The first bear said, "Hey, somebody's been eating my stew, and they made a big mess out of it." The second bear said, "Someone's been eating my stew too, and I think they took my spoon." The third bear said, "Someone's been eating my stew too, and they ate it all." Oh my gosh, I wonder if they're still in the house. It was then that they noticed that the muddy footprints led up the stairs. So they followed the trail, and at the top of the stairs they found their beds in complete disarray. The first bear said, "Hey, someone's been sleeping in my bed and they threw my comforter on the floor." The second bear said, "Someone's been sleeping in my bed too and they got mud all in it." And the third bear said, "Someone's been sleeping in my bed too, and there she is!" Roar! The bears roared, and it woke Goldie with a start. She screamed, jumped out of the bed, ran down the stairs, out of the house, and all the way home to tell her mom about this horrible traumatic event that had happened. Well, now Goldie's mom was disappointed because she really thought she had taught Goldie the boundary of consent and about not going into a stranger's house and taking things that aren't yours. Apparently this lesson hadn't sunk in. So Goldie's mom marched her right back to the bear's house to make her apologize and make amends for the mess she had made and for her rude behavior. The bears were very kind and obliging. They accepted Goldie's apology and her offer to clean up their house. And they reminded her that you should never enter someone's space without their consent, and you should never take anyone's stuff without their consent either. And you should only enter someone's space or take something if they have said yes explicitly. Goldie lived the rest of her days with that lesson in mind. She passed it on to her own children, and everyone in the forest coexisted peacefully forevermore. The end. I hope you enjoyed my adaptation of Goldilocks and the Three Bears, and that you navigate your life understanding how consent works. Thank you.